you guys doing? This is EB Crypto, Eric Brent, Family Cash Machine, Follow the Money. What's going on, you guys? How you guys doing today? This is a Thursday, and we're just going to do a little fireside chat. I want to talk to you guys about this opportunity called cryptocurrency, and most of us are missing what it's really about. Now, of course, this represents a huge exchange of wealth. It also represents a time that, you know, you can get in on a whole lot of action as far as money. But I know we all need money. I know people are really looking for ways to make money. Recently, I just saw a survey showing over 41% of the people who didn't go back to work after COVID. So over 41% of people did not go back to work after COVID because they had a chance to really evaluate their life, evaluate their time and how their time versus money, you know, and the balance of life and how, you know, it just wasn't adding up. And nobody wants to be every day going to work and just getting a paycheck, because a lot of jobs, the paycheck is just not cutting it. So it forced a lot of people around the world to reevaluate their time versus money. And over 106 million people around the world decided to get involved in trading cryptocurrency. Wow. So that's amazing. But if you hear these stories about the Shiba Inu, the Dogecoins, you guys hear the stories, you know, and I did an example last week where Dogecoin, if you would have invested a year ago, it would be up to $72 million, just $1,000, over 72 million. But again, most of us won't wait till it hits 72 million. I mean, you got to sit there and watch it go to 700,000. You got to watch it go to 1 million. You got to watch it go to 1.5. You got to watch it go to 2 million, then 3 million. I mean, come on now, let's just face it. Most of us would cash out, but I'm encouraging you never to cash all your coins. Okay, if you get $1,000 in there and it gets up to 700,000, cash out 20%, 30%. I mean, you don't need but a couple 100,000. Why would you need the whole 700,000? Leave it in crypto. Make sure it stays in crypto because it's going to continue to grow. If you made all that money in crypto, why would you pull it out of crypto and put it back in the bank? That just doesn't make sense, because you're putting it into a fiat currency that is actually losing its purchasing power every day. We see that as we go to the grocery stores every single day. But I wanted to talk more about what this industry really represents, you know, and most of us are not getting it. We think it's just about coming in and making some money. And that's really what we're attracted to. I go on a lot of these talk shows. I listen to a lot of these narrators talk about crypto, and they're only showing you, oh, you use this wallet, you use that wallet, this is the exchange, and you're still not getting what this is about. And I'm going to go a little bit into it. I don't want to go too deep today because it really requires a lot of research, but I'm going to give you guys a little bit of what this is about, the fundamentals of it. Of course, it's about making money. There's a whole ecosystem here. Money is being changed all over the world. It's changing. And the system that we're in is just not working. It hasn't worked for a long time, but they've come up with new innovative ways over and over again to continue to basically kick the can down the road. That's basically what they've been doing, is just kicking the can down the road. So now we're at a point where it's time to pay the piper. We can't just continue to kick the can down the road, talking about the debt, not just the national debt, the global debt, you know, and we've been living on a debt-based economy. Our economics, the lives that we live, you know, has basically been thriving on debt. And debt is just a promise to pay down the line. But one day you have to make the payment. And we're living in that day where a lot of us are making the payment. And when I looked at the national debt clock, you guys can go to the national debt clock. I looked at it from time to time. There's over $28 trillion here in America that is owed to the Federal Reserve. Now, I'm telling people all the time, the Federal Reserve, what's the Federal Reserve? Why is the Federal Reserve, why do we owe the Federal Reserve? And I'm telling you guys, it's not a part of this country. It's never been a part of this country. All you have to do is read the book Jackal, A Creature from Jackal Island, and you'll see it's not a part of this country. Because think about it. How would we owe us? How is it that you owe yourself? The Federal Reserve is the government. Well, how does the government owe the government? No, it's not the government. It's a private banking system. and it's attached to the central banks. It is typically a central bank. That's all it is. So cryptocurrency represents an opportunity for us to come out of the debt economics and get into an economics where the value is solely created by market reaction, buying and selling, and the conditions of the market, supply and demand. And it has nothing to do with interest rates. It has nothing to do with inflation, hyperinflation, all that stuff has nothing to do. This is currency that has programming ability. You can actually program cryptocurrency to do a specific thing. There's a coin right now that a gentleman programmed to create value. He created the coin where there's a certain amount of coins, and when you buy those coins are burned, they're destroyed, but they give you a smart contract that accumulates your interest, and at the end of your stake, that interest comes to your wallet from the blockchain. There's not one spot where those coins are held. They're on the blockchain, on the network, so nobody can, pull the rug up under you. And that programmability is directly attached, not to his company, but to your wallet, to your private key. So you are in 100% control. But my point is, it's a programmable function with this particular currency that is creating value. There's millionaires being made with this particular coin. And you're going to have to come into the family cash machine all the way to understand what coin that is. But every day I'm looking on Twitter, they got a bot where these guys are cashing out every day, 500,000, 300,000, 400,000, a million, 2 million. They're buying and selling all day this particular coin. It's not Bitcoin, it's not Ethereum, but this is a particular coin that in the last 2 years have produced so many millionaires, and it's continuing to create millionaires. But again, this is just one aspect of this industry. I wanted to talk about the aspect of decentralization versus centralization. So now what's happening is we have an ability to redefine not just money, but business and corporations and the way the distribution of revenue in corporations are done. We have a opportunity today to redefine inventions, creativeness. And if you guys have followed any of the Black inventors, if you watch or read anything, there's encyclopedias on how much has been invented by Blacks where we didn't really get the credit. We might have got a little pay up front, and then the billions and the trillions of dollars were leveraged by corporations or private investors or people who had the money and the resources to actually mass produce that product. So for years in this country, in the United States, all over the world, indigenous people around the world who come up with the most creative ideas have been robbed, raped, and have been just taken advantage of with their innovative, creative ideas. But now with blockchain technology, with decentralization, you can actually patent your idea through the blockchain. You can send your idea through the blockchain. And what is the blockchain? Most of us know it's a time and date stamp of a network of millions of people that can all witness and validate and verify the time that your idea went through the blockchain. They don't even have to see your idea. They can just see the document that you sent through that was dated and timestamped. There's millions of people that can validate and verify and confirm that time. That's a way of really patenting something through the blockchain. Also, what you can do is, let's say, for instance, you have an idea and you want to create this idea, and you go to the people. You don't have to go to the banks. You can go to the people and say, hey, look, here's my idea. I've created a coin. And this coin represents pretty much shares of this idea. So if you buy into this coin, you're gonna own pieces of the value of this company. It's just that simple. So let's say, for instance, you make 700 million. I've seen it done in 1 month. I've seen a guy make 30 million in 1 month. I've seen companies do $1 billion in a few hours with just simply an idea. And the people buy into it by just simply buying these tokens. Now the company or the inventor or the creative and innovative person has the means to actually go and bring that into manifestation. Wow. You don't have to go to a bank. You don't have to have corporate credit. You don't have to have leverage. You don't have to have, any kind of collateral. All you need is your idea, and nobody can steal it. This is a game changer. This is a game changer. So with that idea, and with the people looking at it and going, hey, that might work, and buying your tokens, now you have the revenue to actually manifest that. And as it's being created, and once it's being distributed and value is being created, every single person that participated in the beginning and bought in on your tokens for a little bit of measly amount, now those tokens have value. Now there's people buying this product. So what you just did is just created a whole ecosystem of multimillionaires to grow with the company. And there's not just one CEO sitting there like Microsoft and creating the richest man in the world, and the wealth is not being shared. And everybody's buying the product, but nobody's sharing in the value of the product. They're only sharing in the usage. But now with the blockchain and decentralization, not only can people share in the idea, they can share in the profits. They can share in the revenue. Oh my goodness, without a broker, without the SEC, unregulated. We don't need the regulations to create value. Now, this is a most significant change in the way business can be done. And this is what I want my people to understand, is how much leverage you have with cryptocurrency. Let me give you guys an example. Let's say you got into a company like, we got Facebook. Let's say we have Facebook 2, and you created, not Facebook, but when you make it your own name up, let's say you had, Bonsai or whatever, you came up with your name, and then you created a social media website, and you went to the people and said, hey, this is my idea. I want a decentralized social media website where they can't hack your information, they can't steal your information, the government can't, spy on you. And it's a network of decentralization. There's not a server. There's no one server that they can get a back door to, but it's a network all over the internet. Of course, they can see your picture and all that, whatever you share, but at the same time, you don't have to use your name, you're just a number. So now you have privacy. Now you have private keys to your back office. Nobody could take your data and sell your data. You can sell your data to marketing companies. How about that? Wouldn't that be different? If you can sell your own, market your data, and there are companies that are making billions of dollars and even millions of dollars off of your data, and you're not getting anything. How about you control your own data? How about you can sell your data back to advertising and marketers and distributors and corporations? Wouldn't that be something? So this is what it all indicates. It's so many different paradigm shifts that can happen with this technology. That's why I'm always saying this is the technology that my people need to be in, so they can start creating their own generational wealth. Again, back to that Facebook example. With a decentralized Facebook, okay? Now the people share in the value. It's not a server. So that means the value has nowhere to go but to the users. Wow. So that 280 billion, 300 billion, or whatever Mark Zuckerberg and his partners have made to this day would have been distributed, and it would have created thousands of millionaires. Wow, imagine that. So every time you share and somebody like your content, you get paid. Every time you like somebody content, they get paid. Every time you create value, all the people share in the value because they have these tokens. Wow. This decentralized, distributed. And so this company becoming a mental giant, becoming a global giant, it's raising all the people up with it because they're making money as they're doing tasks, sharing their information, as they're commenting, as they're liking, sharing their pictures. The people are getting paid. And not just off of that, the value of the company growing because you own these tokens. Pretty much like having shares. And these tokens are getting valuable and valuable and valuable. You own a lot of these different tokens. That's how the wealth can be distributed. Anybody can buy into those tokens, which opens up the wealth for anybody. I was doing some research today and studying about hedge funds. And a lot of people don't realize hedge funds, a lot of hedge funds are paying a pretty decent percent. They got some that's paying this, like basically if you got a couple $1 million, you're gonna always have money. You're gonna be making $200,000-300,000 a year just on your passive income. They have a lot of strong ones like that, where if you got like say 10 million, you probably you might be making 2 or 3 million a year passively just on that sitting in the right hedge fund. But guess what? Hedge funds are only for investor status, people who have investor status. So basically what that does is exclude the small guys with $100,000, $2,000, or $5,000 for participating in hedge funds. That's a rich man's game. So they have certain things pretty much orchestrated to exclude the average person from having the opportunity of creating 3% a week, 5% a week. When you can generate that kind of income passively, people don't realize how powerful that is. Let's say, for instance, you have a few powerful traders, and they're getting 20% a month. They got a lot of traders getting that. You may have to pay them 20% of what you're making. Let's say you started with $10,000 at 9% a month. Okay, at 20% a month. You're basically making $2,400, $2,600 a month passively. So eventually you're going to compound. Within 3 months or so, you got 20,000. That 20,000 now is making 4,000 a month. Do you see where I'm going with this? They have individuals that are not making 4,000 a month on their job. Okay. Now, let's say, for instance, and I call this the centralized world versus the decentralized world. And we're going to get into that later, because now the family cash machine, we're coming up with our own coin. It's going to have some DeFi functions that's going to allow everybody to make money. Oh my God. See, I really am so excited for the future for this industry, as well as my people. And I want to make sure my people are in this industry, not just for the money, but to actually remove themselves from centralization, corporate America, where only money flows to a few people. That's the problem in the world. Wealth needs to be distributed. And with this technology, wealth can be massively redistributed in a most productive way. And that's what I'm excited about. And not just that point, the fact that I have something of value that's outside of government control and bank control, because they're coming up with a different currency right now. They're going to come up with their own digital currency, and they're going to be isolating a lot of individuals, and they're going to be monitoring every single penny. It's never been a time when governments can monitor every single penny. Now they will, with a digital currency, with a centralized digital currency. And this is why I'm on the path that I'm on, to continue to teach more and more people about decentralization, and not having servers, and having a network of consensus, decentralized, where no one government, one man, one company is in control, but the people are in control. It is democracy at its highest level, and technology is taking it to its highest level, where no governments can check it. Again, let's say, for instance, I hear a lot of people talk about mass adoption. We need mass adoption. We need mass adoption for crypto. Well, that's not going to happen if we don't re-educate the mindset of people that's coming into the cryptocurrency, because most of us are just coming in for the money. We're not understanding that this technology was created to help redistribute wealth, to break up centralization, to empower the people, to give you privacy, for one, and to give you an ability to not have permission, to be able to program a certain functionality to your currency to make it do what it can do. And if you have a functionality with any kind of technology, it's going to create value. So you don't have to worry about money. You're going to create value. Bitcoin is not money, but it has value. You can exchange it for money. Now, I talk to a lot of people every day, and they say if they had 5 million, they'll change it back to money. And I'm like, why? Why would you change it back to something that's depreciating in value when you just made all this with something appreciated? Because they didn't come in with the right understanding. They came in just thinking just make the money, but in their mind, money is currency, and it's not. Money is value. Anything that creates value is what I want. Anything that continues to appreciate over time is what I want. I don't want the currency. I only use the currency for medium of exchange at certain places that accept it. Now that gives me another subject here. What if I had an Uber driver that accept Bitcoin? What if I had a bike for sale and my friend called me and said, hey man, I got $100 worth of Tron. Do you take Tron? And I said, yes. Who's there to regulate that transaction? And why would I need a bank for that transaction? That's a peer-to-peer transaction. This is the only way we're going to get to mass adoption, but it's not going to happen again because we're too centralized in our thinking. So we want to, right now, looking for a lot of cryptocurrency credit cards. I need a Visa. I need a MasterCard where I can send and I have those cards where I can send my cryptocurrency to these cards, but this was not Eric Brent that brought these cards into existence. It was the masses that wanted to pull back in a third party. When you call in the bank, when you calling in the Visa and the MasterCard, you're saying, hey, we need somebody to come in so we can change this back to cash. See, you see that? That's the mindset. We're not ready for this yet. And this is why we have courses in the family capturing. We have classes so we can slowly elevate your mind out of this centralized thinking where you're giving control back to the people who are diminishing and crashing our economy and have done it time and time again. It's the same people, central banks. It goes all the way back through time. You can go ahead and look all the way through Europe when the first central bank started early in the 1200s or whatever, and they started centralizing banking, and a group of individuals controlled the banking, controlled the money, the currencies, basically controlling governments, creating wars, the whole thing. And so when we go to our own acceptance of what we accept, we can just say, hey, well, like I said, I'll accept that for payment. You want to buy my car? Yeah, I got 20,000 worth of Bitcoin. I'll buy your car. I'll take Bitcoin. That's a peer-to-peer. And why would I need a credit card for that? I don't. All I need is my phone. Boom, send the Bitcoin to his phone. Give him his deed. We're done. Give him his pink slip. We're done. That's a transaction, baby. All day. We have to be retrained to think. We think we need these credit cards, and we don't. We need to get more people to accept Ethereum, Bitcoin, Tron, Bitcoin Cash. Don't forget Bitcoin Cash. We need to get more people to accept these cryptocurrencies because it's value. And there's never going to be a time, I don't care what governments do, I don't care what banks do, there's never going to be a time when there's not exchange. We started from the barter system. It's going to always be a time when people will exchange what they feel they accept for value. I'll take $100 worth of Bitcoin for that bicycle because the bicycle is worth $100. This is $100 worth of Bitcoin. I don't need my bank. I don't need a wallet. I don't need a fiat currency, and I definitely don't need a credit card for that transaction. I can do that peer-to-peer. And this is how we're going to simply unplug from the system and create our own exchanges. Simply relatively easy that no government, no bank can control. Nobody can tell us, oh, you can't buy that. Oh, how did you get $3,000? Where'd you get that from? We're going to confiscate that. None of that. It's true freedom. And if you can't free money, you can't free the people. And once money is free, it frees the people. If money is restricted and money is captivated and limited, then guess what? Your actions are limited. It's just that simple. Money is an expression of freedom. It really is. So when you have money, you can buy what you want, go what you want, do what you want. But with a limited amount of money, it really represents limitations and a lack of mobility. So with that, I'm gonna go ahead and sign out again, you guys. It's Eric Brent, Family Caption. You guys have a great evening. Like and subscribe to our channel and start learning more about the other elements that come with this. Because like I said, Black people are the most innovative people in the planet. We've created so many different technologies. We've created so many different things on this planet. We hardly get any credit, and we've been raped, robbed, and stolen from pretty much, and just exploited when it comes to our creativeness and our mind. And now this technology has an ability to change the game and put the power back in the hand of the innovators and creators. And that's kind of scary for those in control. So with that, I enjoy it. I love it because it empowers the people. And that's what I'm all about, is educating and helping the people understand this power of decentralization and blockchain technology that we just still have not grown and developed the understanding of how to use it. And that's why I'm here, to make sure we're going to use it in every way other than just making money, but we're going to use it to free ourselves from a system that's decaying, a system that's going to be more controlling, more restrictive, more monitoring when it comes to money. We don't control our own money. We need to control our own value, okay? We don't need to control money. They can have that paper stuff. Because now the government is talking about, oh, in order to get out of debt, we're going to create $1 trillion coin. How stupid is that? It's just a coin. You said it's worth $1 trillion. Okay, so you're going to create a coin that you say is worth $1 trillion. That's dead. That's a token. That's not real. It doesn't have real value. There's nothing behind it. There's no gold back in it. There's nothing behind it. What gives cryptocurrency value is the limited amount that is created and the functionality that each coin has. They do a specific thing. All those coins, if you read the white papers of some of these coins, they have certain functionality that gives usability. And as people use something and need something, there's the demand for certain thing, and they're actually using it, guess what? It creates value. So with that, again, you guys, like and subscribe to Family Cash Machine. Follow us on YouTube, and we're going to start giving you guys more understanding of how to elevate your consciousness in this industry and how to leverage this, because this really does represent one of the greatest exchanges of wealth ever in the history of the world if we use it properly. So with that, I'm going to sign out. You guys have a great evening. Bye-bye.
Hit the subscribe, please.